Fabulous. We are live. Welcome. Thank you both so much for joining me today on this beautiful sunny Friday. Today's webinar is going to be talking all around the theme of hyper-personalisation. So we're talking about something that's redefining the way that e-commerce brands connect with their customers, and we'll be zeroing in specifically on how platforms like WhatsApp are being used for real one-to-one customer engagement. So not just improving conversion rates, but also looking at growing average order value and just building a stronger brand affinity. So let's start with some introductions. So first of all, I'm Rose. I'm the events and partnerships manager at Quickfire. Could I ask you both, starting with you, Abhishek, to introduce yourselves as well?
So hi, my name is Abhishek. I'm Chief Revenue Officer for Quick, and we are the largest e-commerce enabler out of Asia. Around 6-7 months back, we launched in the UK market. Now there are more than 100 brands who are using WhatsApp commerce product, which is called Quick.
Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you. And Harriet.
Brilliant. I am Harriet. I am the co-founder at Buddy and Lola, and we target the 6 main reasons your dog might have to go to the vet through selling quality supplements here within the UK.
Fantastic. I love that. My dogs have just had to go to the vets to have their teeth extracted because they were playing with a toy and they bashed heads and both knocked their canines.
No.
So that's probably not covered by stupidity, unless you do one for stupidity, in which case.
I was going to say, we do call dental, but not stupid.
Yeah, okay. Okay, well, I'll take gentle, and yeah, hopefully it just ups some brain cells as well. That would be great. Awesome. Thank you so much. It's lovely to have you here. And these webinars are all about adding value, creating amazing content, and hopefully helping some of the brands in our community with making good decisions and getting a better understanding of the tech available to them. So let's get started. So kind of setting the scene here, we know that customers don't want to feel like a number. They want real interactions, timely offers, and communication that actually feels relevant. So with tools like WhatsApp, brands can now have direct conversations that move people through the funnel, increase AOV, and enhance the buying experience. So the question is, how do we do that well? And how do we do it at scale? So let's start with the big picture. Retention is the goal, but personalization is the vehicle. I obviously didn't come up with that because that's like, it sounds insanely smooth, and so obviously our marketing team came up with that line, but obviously these things aren't always straightforward. So Abhishek, let's start with you. What are the biggest mistakes you see brands making when they try to personalize communication at scale, especially with channels like WhatsApp?
Sure. So I think one of the biggest issue I see, which now we tell the brands not to do, is that in the very first month, don't try to bombard the customers with marketing messages, because it's a new channel, so you have to warm up your audience. So generally we suggest we tell them to start with things like abandoned cart recovery messages, order confirmation messages, order tracking messages. So once customers are used to seeing these kind of updates on WhatsApp, then slowly and steadily after a month or 40-50 days, you can start doing marketing on WhatsApp.
Brilliant, thank you. And Harriet, what are some of the biggest challenges you faced personally keeping customers engaged?
I think there's always a challenge between automation and authenticity. So for me, like with email and even WhatsApp, what's been really challenging is how do we connect with our customers on a personal way? So how do we, as a co-founder of the business, how do we get our customers to feel like they're having a conversation with me, with the brand, and how do we make that really personalized? So obviously a couple of challenges within that is how do we actually get customers to open their messages, but also how do we get them to feel more authentic, so that they actually feel like they are communicating directly with us. I think that's probably been one of the biggest challenges for us, is actually creating a two-way conversation with our customers.
If I share, yeah, brilliant, and yeah, I think we see that more and more as people want like quick responses as well, and they want those responses at strange times, which is when they're shopping, which is normally in the evening or in the early morning, not while they're at work. Not you should be shopping at work. I'm always shopping at work. That's because I'm bad at my job. So, some key questions for you guys then. So going back to Abhishek, what are the most effective WhatsApp flows for increasing average order values?
Sure. I'll give you an example. So let's say if you are a clothing brand, let's say you sell. So let's say if you have these new launch of these t-shirts. All right. So once you send a communication to the customer that hey, we have launched these new set of t-shirts. So below a WhatsApp message there is a CTA button. Firstly, Rose, can you just show the screen?
I absolutely can.
I want to show everyone. I want to show everyone how a WhatsApp message looks like first.
Oh, so I can't see what I'm sharing.
Okay, so I hope other people are able to see this screen.
That's
So
fine.
yeah, so
That's
in
fine.
the black box. So in the
Let's start from the beginning. Go on, Harriet. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
I think I can hear someone else talking.
Yeah.
Oh, that might be me. Let me mute myself. Carry on.
Okay. Yeah. So you can see the black box. So this black box is an SMS. All right. You can see how simple text it is. It can never engage a customer. The same messages when sent on WhatsApp, this is how it looks like just next to it. So you have a beautiful image of the product. This can be an image. This can be a GIF. This can be a video. All right. Then you don't have any limit on text. You can add emojis to it. Then there are buttons. So these CTA buttons are very interesting. So as I was telling you about, let's say t-shirts. So if let's say I send you this message of this let's say newly launched t-shirts. So these CTA buttons can be show me more. All right. Once you click on show me more, automatically it will pull from your inventory from Shopify backend. There can be buttons like another button like what goes well with it. So it can show an accessory which can go well with this t-shirt. It can also show a trouser which goes well with this t-shirt. So and you don't have any limits on number of CTA buttons to put. So it can be show me more, what goes well with it, uh, uh, remind me again tomorrow. All right. So and all the interactions start happening in the same window. And let's say once the customer makes up their mind, all right, and he clicks on shop now button, we can directly take the customers to add to cart. So they don't have to be taken to let's say again a product page and all. So this is how automated and personalized WhatsApp can be. Thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. Do you want me to keep the slides up, or would you like me to remove them?
I think people must have seen it, so you can
cool. I will take them down. Cool. Thank you. Yeah, that's super interesting, and I think we're going to see more and more of that. People wanting to kind of make it a really simple transition from seeing to buying without lots of different pages popping up. Cool, brilliant. And a question for you, Harriet. What made you decide to try WhatsApp as a way of reaching your customers?
So primarily it started actually with just one product. So one of our products, Super Tummy Instant, has a 95% satisfaction rating. We just get great reviews on it. It's a great product. It really does do what it says. And therefore, I just felt like we weren't getting the volume of reviews compared to the amount of customer orders. So with email, we were seeing quite low open rates on our automation flow to get reviews. And this is how it started for WhatsApp with us. And I just felt like we should be getting so many more reviews. And how do we connect with our customers? So for me, it was actually being able to get a better open rate on using WhatsApp was the primary driver for us to then move over to WhatsApp. But then second to that, it was actually a way for me to communicate personally to our customers. So actually creating a flow where I'm directly asking them for a review as the co-founder and then asking them for feedback on the product. So in fact, not just hitting them with a review request, actually doing a check-in as soon as they've received the product, then sending them a how-to video and then asking for a review request. So it felt really personalized. And actually, since then, I mean, we haven't got into stats yet, but since then we've seen a 50% uplift on reviews for that product in terms of generating. So what I thought would happen definitely did happen. So yeah, that was our primary driver, and that's really what we started using it for, was review collection.
That's amazing. I hadn't even thought of reviews as that's a really good way of doing it. And it's a lot more seamless, I guess, than, those emails that come afterwards, just like, hey, you bought this. How did you find it? And you're like, oh, I clicked that. I'm going to go to something else. I probably have to log into something. And yeah, I can't be bothered. Whereas, yeah, if it's all just done through WhatsApp, super easy to just click, do, get on with your day. Fantastic. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, another question for you, Abhishek. So how should brands think about WhatsApp opt-ins and consents without impacting the experience? All good things come with opt-ins and consents with tech, and data is still an ongoing issue. And I think as it gets more advanced, we're going to see that as becoming more of an issue with how to make sure you're doing everything above board when it comes to reaching customers under data protection.
Absolutely. So most of the consents are taken on pop-ups, which normally all the websites have. So it is like leave your email and mobile number to, let's say, unlock 10% off. So on that mobile number, it is written that it is the opt-in is for, let's say, SMS/WhatsApp. All right. So once a customer leaves their mobile number there, then basically we are complying to send them messages. And also, irrespective of whatever message we send, whether it's for abandoned cards, order confirmation, or even a marketing message, every WhatsApp message has a stop button. So a customer can click on stop anytime and they are unsubscribed from WhatsApp. But even after that, I'll share some numbers. Globally, we work with 5,000 brands just on this WhatsApp product, and our unsubscription rate in overall portfolio is 2.4%. But in UK, we have our unsubscription rate is 1.3%. So in UK, it is much lower.
It's brilliant. I love that, and there's amazing numbers there. And it's good to know that it's a really easy stop if it's not something you want to be involved in anymore. It's not like a long, complicated process. It actually sounds easier than opting out of things like emails. So from the customer perspective, that sounds like a really good experience. Cool. Harriet, question for you. Obviously, it's not just you at the business. I can see that from the fact you're a co-founder. So how do you keep WhatsApp conversations feeling authentic and on brand? Apologies, by the way, if there's some background noise. I'm going to keep muting myself. I am in an office, so bear with me.
Anyways, so I think that was super important to me, that if we were going to use WhatsApp, our customers didn't feel like they were being sold to. So like Abhishek mentioned earlier, we started off with order confirmation, order tracking. We built this into our post-purchase flow for WhatsApp, and we made it. We basically, per each product is a personalized customer journey. So for example, our bone broth product, if a customer then receives it, they'll get the order tracking, then they get the order confirmation, then they get a check-in from me. So the message is directly personalized from me. Then they get a how-to video, which I've recorded myself. So basically I'm guiding the customer how to use it. So the customer's like, wow, these guys, we're showing how much we care. We're partnering with them in their dog's health. And then we then say, the next one in that is if they've got any questions, they can ask direct in WhatsApp. And then that's very much leading a two-way conversation. So the fact that the messages are coming from me, they're coming in a environment where you're used to receiving messages from your friends and family. You don't really want to be receiving loads of sales messages. So actually, this feels like a really a way that we're not selling to them, we're just helping them along their journey with their new product for their dog. Obviously, the selling bit comes later, but by that point, they feel like they've had direct contact with me as the co-founder. And I think it is pretty authentic, the fact that each product has its own unique flow, filmed and written by me.
Fantastic. Yeah, I love that. Okay, another question for you. For Abhishek, what role does segmentation play in making WhatsApp personal but scalable? Sorry, it's really noisy here.
Absolutely. So segmentation plays a huge role. So in fact, as Harriet was telling earlier, so we always asked many founders that create a segment for your loyal customers where you can send them a personalized newsletter that, hey, thanks for being a part of our company. All right. And which let's say with there you can maybe share your image. Let's say in her case, she can share image of her with her own dog. All right. And post it. And we hope that your dog is also doing well. So in that way you can personalize. Plus, if let's say you are capturing the birthdays of your customers, so you can send an exclusive birthday message that, hey, happy birthday Abhishek, here is a voucher for you just from our site. So all these segmentation, personalizations and automations can be done on WhatsApp. So you just have to automate it once. And interestingly, if in UK, we assign you a WhatsApp expert on day one. So they will handhold you for the first 3 months. So they will help you automate each and everything. So they will share certain templates with you in terms of what messaging should go out, what kind of images should go out, what kind of, let's say you are in a business where, let's say, uh, assembly of product is required. So let's say once a customer receives the product, it is like, this is how you can assemble the product. So so all these basically DIY videos can be shared as a post-purchase experience. So and yeah, so the WhatsApp expert, it's their role in the first 3-4 months, that they will handhold you till the time you are, let's say, getting a 15 to 20x ROI just on WhatsApp. All right. So yeah, so this is how we do.
I need to hover my mouse above the microphone button. Sorry about that. That's brilliant. Thank you. Which that segues us really nicely into a question for you, Harriet, which has been, what has been your most successful WhatsApp messaging? So like bundles or a limited time offer to date. I think anyone sort of listening in, it would be great to hear you've tried and tested what really worked for you.
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, obviously we started off with all of our products having a kind of personalized flow, and then obviously the 50% uplift in reviews coming in only helped conversion on our product pages, so in turn making us more profitable. We also then have launched our abandoned checkout, and since then I think the stats that have come over, we're seeing like a 9.6 ROAS on all messages for our abandoned cart, because we're seeing a much better open rate on the abandoned cart messages. It's important to know with the abandoned cart, we're only sending them to people that have opted in via the pop-up on site, so that we are being super compliant. But that's now revenue generating for us. And I'd say probably the abandoned cart, but also we're seeing an uplift in our bundle upsells. So we've now started using imagery and messaging. So if a customer's already bought one product, we're now encouraging them to buy a bundle with that product in. And that's fairly new. I haven't got exact data, but that's already starting to work well for us.
Brilliant, thank you. Quick question before we go on to, because I've got a couple of sort of panel style questions which I wanted to ask both of you. Where did the name Buddy and Lola come from?
Oh, so Buddy, I didn't expect that one. Buddy and Lola. Buddy and Lola was actually, this was around 9 years ago, was the two most popular dog names at the time. And therefore, because Buddy and Lola was never about us, it was about your dogs. So we wanted to be able to connect with as many dogs as possible. And they were just the two top names that year that we launched.
That's such a lovely idea. I just assumed it would be like your dog and your co-founder's dog. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's lovely. Actually, I can tell you what the two most popular ones are this year, because it was on Radio 1 the other day. They are Charlie for a boy and Luna for a girl. And my dog is called Charlie and my sister's is called Luna. So we've really not bucked the trends there. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Brand, Charlie and Luna.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, please. No, I don't want anything named after Charlie. He's useless, and I don't think a company should represent that. Cool. So, a question for you both: where do you think brands should start if they've never used WhatsApp beyond like order confirmations? Where should they start? Because it's quite a daunting thing to start on a whole new line of communicating with your customers. Abhishek, feel free to go first, because I've just thrown curveballs at poor Harriet. So it's her break.
Yeah, I think Harriet had explained earlier. So I think the first thing, in fact, we tell many brands that give a try us out for abandoned cart recovery. We'll help you recover 15 to 20% of abandoned cart in few months. And when we'll make you money, because once we'll start recovering your abandoned cart, at least it'll save you money. Then you start spending it on for marketing. And one very interesting thing about WhatsApp is that it has a 90% plus open rate in the first 5 minutes itself. So that is why abandoned carts works really well, abandoned cart recovery, because if customer has added the product to the cart, it means they are on the brink, but they leave it. But if you send immediately a message on WhatsApp that, hey, you are looking for these products, and with proper images on WhatsApp, if you finish the transaction in next 5 minutes, we'll give you a 5% additional off or a 10% off. So, and because the customer is already in, let's say, half mind to buy the product, so they end up actually converting, they end up basically converting it into order. So we start with abandoned cart recovery, then we start with order confirmation and order tracking, which is a very important thing, because for first time users on any website, the first doubt they have is, where is my order, or when will it arrive? So once, let's say, they place an order, immediately they get a confirmation on WhatsApp that, hey, thanks for placing the order, you will receive it in next 3 to 5 days. And up in few minutes, they will also get a tracking link on their WhatsApp, because that WhatsApp messages sit in your mobile. So every day that customer keep clicking on it till the time they receive their first product. Right. Then basically this credibility is already done. It's already created between the brand and the customers. And then during the second purchase, these kind of problems don't even exist, right, between the brand and the customer. So order confirmation, order tracking, feedback/reviews. So reviews works amazingly well. So let's say there is a option like give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars, and they can just click on number of stars. And let's say if someone gives you a high rating, then you can also immediately give them a link to, let's say, a Trustpilot or some other review website to basically submit their reviews as well. So once all these things are done in the first 30, 40, 50 days, then maybe we move to, let's say, a marketing or a cross sell or something like that. Maybe Harriet, if you want to add anything.
Yeah. I was going to say I was actually quite hesitant at first, I guess, when you think of WhatsApp. I didn't want to overstep the mark, and I didn't want to kind of communicate with our customers and kind of go across their boundaries. We have a demographic of women that are primarily our customer base, 45 plus. I just had this big fear that we would then be, it would cause a lot of, we'd see like loads of people going, please stop messaging me. But we really didn't see that. And I think that is because we took a very slow approach. I do believe if we'd gone in and started selling initially, we probably would have had a lot worse feedback, but we've only had a really small unsubscribe rate. So what I would say is that I think starting off with transactional messages and then moving to more conversational makes it feel like it's not as intrusive as I mentioned before. So the fact that we're asking the customer questions like, how's your dog getting on day one? So for example, for our probiotic product, we know that sometimes that can take 30 days for it to take effect. So it's really important that we're really clear with our messaging about week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. What are the certain signs you're going to expect? If you've got any questions, you can reach out to us here. And also, I think with WhatsApp being I think we take for granted how accessible WhatsApp is on our phone. It's definitely something that I had thought about. So for example, with our how-to videos, or with our health guide. So something else that we've been sending out is like, how long should your probiotic take to work? Well, actually, a customer might be thinking on week 2, I'm not sure if this is the expected. Actually, in 2 clicks, I can just go look at that blog that's in my WhatsApp chat that Harriet's left me. So I kind of feel like it's just it's really pushed forward and empowered our messaging around us partnering with our customers and their dog's health, because now we do feel like partners. Before, I guess, we were trying to send help and we were getting like 50-40% open rates that were then dropping off. So some of the important information that the customer were getting, they just weren't opening, and they definitely weren't revisiting. So for me, I think I don't feel like it's intrusive, because we're only helping further our help for the dog. In our experience, that's just definitely where it's helping. Like with the reviews, again, I didn't mention before, but probably not linked to authenticity, but that was a great point, Abhishek, around we're actually vetting all those customers. So they do have the functionality to then, if they've not had a good experience, then they'll only leave 1 star. Then someone in our customer service team would probably reach out to them. So we're kind of monitoring that part as well. And obviously then 5-star reviews, us sending the review link. And as I mentioned, we have seen the uplift there. But yeah, it doesn't feel intrusive because of how personalized it is at the moment.
That's brilliant. Thank you. Yeah, that was my personal kind of thoughts when sort of I first spoke with Abhishek, as kind of, and Abhishek explains the concept of Go Quick to me, and I was kind of like, oh, WhatsApp is normally where I chat to my mum. I'm not sure how I feel about people reaching out on there, whereas emails are just emails, right? But actually, yeah, when you put it like that with your approach, where if you're using it correctly and you're using it as a information source as well, because dogs are people's like new children. What is it like for millennials? Dogs are the new children and plants are the new pets. And like, yeah, people are very, very overly worried and protective of them, except me. But most people are always really concerned about their dog's health. And yeah, having, knowing that, okay, I'm giving my dog something, that always makes me nervous because it's something new. I don't know how they're going to react to it, but I've got this person right at the other end of this message. If I have any problems, if there's a reaction I'm not expecting, they can always reach out to you, which I think is great. And I think probably in anything to do with vitamins and supplements, yeah, I imagine WhatsApp will be especially a really helpful place for people to go and get information. Cool. Other question for you both. What's the biggest opportunity for brands who want to go beyond basic automation? Abhishek, feel free to start us off here.
So one very interesting thing which I want to share with the audience and everyone, see, you on your website, that what are the time slot where most of your shopping happens. Let's say maybe it's 3 p.m., 6 p.m., or let's say 10 p.m. in the night. All right, that whatever your best time slots for shopping, what you can do is during those times, if you send a marketing messages to all your customers, all right, because it has a 90% plus open rate, so they will read it during that period, and the shop, and basically the chances of shopping the product goes much higher, because within 5 minutes they'll look at it, they'll look maybe the offer, and that during these periods, maybe it's lunchtime during office hours, or let's say some evening tea time, or let's say after 10 p.m. when people are normally, we don't tell people to send messages after, let's say, 7-8 p.m. But if that, let's say at 8 p.m. most of your shopping is happening, then also you can basically send it to a few of your customers, because they are active that time. So your chances of making them do a purchase goes really up. Yeah. So so one interesting thing, so I see it very, very interesting. And because even if you send a 50% off to a customer for today, all right, through email or SMS, because most of them are unread in the first 24 hours itself, so the chances of them making impulse purchase goes really low. All right. So this is something which is very unique to WhatsApp, because of very high open rate in the first 5 minutes itself.
Yeah. Cool. Brilliant. Thank you. I think Harriet might have just dropped off. I imagine her sort of battery died or something. So we will hang fire for her. But I have some other questions I can ask you in the meantime. And hopefully we should be back. So one of the things I wanted to ask you specifically actually was how you track the performance, or how brands should track the performance of WhatsApp campaigns. Is there any metrics that matter most? Because obviously open rate is going to, from the sound of it, is going to be very, very high. Personally, I can cope with an unopened email, but an unopened WhatsApp message, I can't cope with that. That needs to be read. So yeah, I imagine the need to open things is a lot higher. So what other metrics as well would you recommend brands look at?
Absolutely. So on WhatsApp, there are like 2-3 important metrics that we track. First is the open rate. For, let's say, whether it's a open rate for a abandoned cart message versus a campaign. So we definitely track that. Also, let's say, what are the open rates at various time of the week? If, let's say, it's a Black Friday sale, or let's say there is some event happening. So we do track that. Open rate is one. Then click-through rate is very important. So the click-through rate on WhatsApp is again 15 to 20%, which is like very high as compared to an email or an SMS. So we track the CTS, click-through rates. And third important thing which we track as a company is that are we able to give you a 15 to 20x ROI on whatever you are spending on WhatsApp on a monthly basis with us. So this is this is the KPI of our WhatsApp expert to ensure that the brands hit 15 to 20x ROI. So these are the 3 important metrics we track.
Brilliant, thank you. And another question for you. What's one thing you wish more brands understood about using WhatsApp as a growth channel?
Okay, so earlier I shared one example about, let's say, time slots where these WhatsApp message should be sent. Apart from that, in other markets, in Asian markets, we do a very interesting thing, that during, let's say, some major event, for example, in Asian market, in Asia, cricket is widely watched. I think in UK also it's watched. So let's say if two teams are at any, let's say, time, let's say if India and England are playing, so we send a quiz to the customers, that who do you predict the winner of the predict the winner for today's match. Let's say India or England, and if you predict it right, you'll get a 20% off. All right. So we do that. We do polls on on WhatsApp. So both polls and quizzes work really well. And also we do like who will be like the top scorer today. All right. And people have to choose from, let's say, 5 different names. And if their answer is right, so let's say few percentage of the customers who have, let's say, who selected the right option, who ended up, let's say, scoring highest, can get a very exclusive discount also to that, for that customers also. So during events, using WhatsApp, you can engage customers in a much better way. And because so immediately, because customers are watching the match, and they keep interacting on WhatsApp, because they know that they can earn something in terms of discount or a voucher or something. Apart from regular days, during events, WhatsApp does wonders.
Amazing, thank you. Yeah, there's some really good advice in there, and yeah, some interesting ways that you can connect with your customers as well and do something really different. Because if that has come from an email saying, "Oh, who do you predict to win in the cricket?" I mean, me personally, I'd be like, I don't know, I don't watch it. But if it's via WhatsApp, then it's a really quick, like you say, people are normally on their phones, they can just reply as they go. Harriet, lovely to have you back. Please don't worry. One of the questions.
Just one thing. So this can be applied to any sport. So let's say in your country, if, let's say, football is the most, football or soccer is the most, again, win predictors, scorer of the match, again, all these things can be replicated for any game. Yeah, please, Harriet.
Cool. Yes, thank you. So one of the questions that is on here, I actually feel like we covered earlier, which was about how you do, you drive cross sales and upsells without being too pushy. And I think we kind of discussed that already, and you gave a really good answer there. So the other question I wanted to ask was how smaller teams realistically can manage WhatsApp campaigns without it becoming a full-time job, because there is an expectation, I guess, for an immediate response, unlike email. When I sent an email up this morning to a jeweler's, and I don't expect them to come back to me within even a couple of hours. I wouldn't mind if they didn't come back until Monday, whereas WhatsApp, I would kind of expect an immediate response.
Okay, so I'll take that. So generally, in fact, Harriet knows. So we create a group. So in fact, from our side, we assign 3-4 people, all right, to every brand. So these are ops people, these are WhatsApp experts and all. So in the first 3 months, because they are doing most of the heavy lifting, after 3 months, most of your flows are already automated. So even after 3-4 months, you want to do it, it will not take you even an hour in a day. All right, because all the automations are done. You just have to select that which automation you have to do. Because in the first 3-4 months, you will try every possible thing, whether it's a poll, it's a abandoned cart message, anything. All right. So in the first 3-4 months, we do this heavy lifting, which is like very unique to GoQuick. So even if, let's say, there are 10 different companies globally who does WhatsApp, the reason we are the largest company in terms of market share is because of this, which is very unique to us, that we do the heavy lifting in the first 3-4 months. We do all the automations, then brand can just select going forward.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, the GoQuick team have been really great. I mean, we're in a WhatsApp group together, and I've definitely felt like it's a safe pair of hands, and they are managing and monitoring everything for us.
Brilliant, thank you. Were there any other bits you wanted to add, Harriet, in terms of like how you've managed it as a team, or would you say it's mostly just been through the help of GoQuick as well?
Yeah, mostly through the help of GoQuick, and the way that we've structured our messages is very much a way that although we're creating an open way, two-way conversation, actually there's no need for them, we hope, to be asking as many questions, because we're sending them health guides, how-to videos. So we're kind of learning as we go, and then changing the messaging depending on what customers are coming back with.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you so much. So for people listening in, if you have any questions, please do put them in the chat. But I have a final question for you both before we start to wrap things up. So Harriet, with you talked about kind of things, successful campaigns that have gone well, but looking at something that you found that consistently performs, so a type of message that consistently performs and works really well for you, that you would perhaps advise other brands to consider, what would that be?
I think it's obviously different depending on your product, but so we definitely have seen a decrease in customer service tickets around how to use the product, and how long the product should last. And also, yeah, I guess particularly with our probiotics, like I mentioned before, we've seen a decrease in the amount of people coming to us and asking us questions like, around the product. So how long can it be open for? How long should I use it, etc. So for me, like the impact of actually now having customers understand the product more has decreased customer service time. But I think the biggest thing for us is as well as it now generating. Obviously, we started using it in probably February time. So I feel like we've got a whole heap left to unlock with Go Quick. But what I would say is that the reviews that we've been getting are so much better quality, and the quantity we're getting is much better too. So for me, it's been like, I always knew when I saw it that I wanted to use it for reviews. Now everything else we're doing is only going to further generate revenue for us. But for me, it's got to be the amount of reviews we're now getting compared to where we were at email.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And final question for you, Abhishek. What's one tactic brands can implement right now to boost WhatsApp engagements and AOV?
Okay, so I think I have covered that. So normally, abandoned cart, it will save you money because you have already paid for that customers on when you are running an ad, or let's say if you have already paid the customer acquisition cost. All right. So once you start implementing the abandoned cart recovery through us, at least those 15-20% abandoned carts will be recovered. So you will basically end up saving that money. And also, which one example which I shared earlier, let's say the CTA buttons which you have. So let's say what goes well with this product. So all those things, and also let's say on the same conversation itself, they can get a message that add one more product to the cart, get additional 20% off. So these kind of flows can be automated. All right. So all those upsells, cross sells can be done in the same conversation window. And once the customer makes their mind, then only you have to take them directly to the add to cart, so that they don't. Yeah. So because you are cutting down the time from, let's say, taking from WhatsApp to, let's say, a product page, then checkout. So because you are reducing that time, the chances of increasing the AOV goes much higher.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, sorry, just realised that quite a repeating question, but hopefully we've driven home the first steps and the best things people can use Go Quick for. Perfect. Thank you, both of you, so much for being with me today and for sharing so many insights. There's so much that I've learned, and I'm sure there are people who listened in who perhaps were a little concerned about or cynical about WhatsApp as a tool, and you've both shown how it can be used to engage with customers rather than just be using as a pure sales channel. So that's amazing. So we will share this on LinkedIn. It's a recorded webinar, so people can then go watch it afterwards. We'll also sort of slice and dice it and share some highlights as well over the next couple of weeks. But I just want to say a massive thank you, and to everyone who's dialed in and listening. Please do reach out to both Harriet and Abhishek. Abhishek for all things WhatsApp, Harriet for all things dog care. And yeah, thank you for joining us today, and I hope you have a wonderful sunny weekend.
Thank you, and you.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for organizing this.
More than welcome. Thank you. Thank you. And then cool. We are now